UFC Fight Night Perez versus Nicolau was this weekend. I'm going to go through the entire card, starting from the bottom up. We're going with the first fight on the card, going all the way up to the main event. Apologies if I have a hoarse voice. Was singing white girl music at the bar all day Saturday. I don't know what else to tell you. It was just one of those nights. Overall, I did great on the card. I went 10-3. That brings my total record to 108 and 66 on the year, so a little over 62%, and we're going to continue to climb. Let's get right into it. Overall, thought it was a pretty good card. I did not think it was going to be as good as it ended up turning out to be. There were a lot of finishes, a lot of great moments. Overall, I was very, very pleased. So nothing to complain about on the card here. Was much better than it was stacked on paper, so I'm excited to see that. First fight of the night, Mahashate versus Gabriel Benitez. I do think Mahashate won this fight. It was very, very close, but I think he was just doing more damage with the hand specifically. He's got to move his head off the center line if he wants to get any better. But Gabriel Benitez looked really good, even at the age that he's at. The leg kicks were really, really good. As you can see here, 27 for 27. Mahashate, again, 97 for 312. I'm not tacking up 312 strikes, so I don't know what to tell you if that's the real number, but overall, they were swinging leather the whole time these guys were going. It was a really fun fight, especially to start the card. Not the most technical, but neither guy moved their head off the center line. It made for a fun fight. Mahashate won. I picked him to win, and that's what happened. Next up was Ivana Petrovic versus Ling Na. Ling Na actually looked all right in the first round. Was pressuring really, really well, but she just got gassed out, and Petrovic completely took over. Ended up looking better on the feet, and eventually on the ground, she maneuvered to get the arm triangle submission. Almost had the ground and pound victory at the end of round two, which was going to be my prediction. But yeah, overall, good performance for Ivana Petrovic. Ling Na looked good in the first round, but after the first round, she really has nothing. I know they were saying on the commentary that she's been struggling with people on social media and all the hate she's getting. Like, dude, everyone gets hate on social media. Grow out of it. Is what it is. Great performance from Ivana Petrovic. Yeah, Ling Na, 4 in a row, man. 4 losses in a row. This is the first fight I got wrong here on the card. James Lyantop really liked his boxing going into this fight. He doesn't move that well, though. He does have some good, crisp hands, but overall, Padilla, the takedown entries were great. That's like all I can really say about it. He just saw when the punches were coming in, saw when a kick was coming in, shot the takedown, and did a really good job of getting the takedown. So overall, good performance from Chris Padilla. At the end of the day, he ended up getting the choke. You can tell James Lyantop, he knew, like, at the end of the fight, he got caught. He knew that if that went to the second round, he was probably going to win. I would be willing to bet that he had the better gas tank, but great job by Padilla locking up the choke, got the rear naked. Big mistake from Lyantop. He showed early in the fight he was able to get up, but he was making mistakes of giving up his back to do so. And when they were in the center of the octagon, he made that big mistake. Padilla jumped on the back, got the choke. This is MMA, man. That's how it goes. You give up, you make one mistake, it can end the fight, and that's what happened here. It's the first one that I got wrong. But overall, good from Padilla to come out and get the win. James Lyantop got some climbing up to do. Marnik Mann versus Ketlin Souza. Marnik Mann got mollywopped. Like, it wasn't even close. There were points where Marnik Mann would have, like, control and land some strikes. None of them were overly damaging. Ketlin Souza's boxing actually looked really, really good, especially to start the third round. She was throwing leather. She was pretty fun to watch. Just like, Marnik Mann was there to be hit as a punching bag, and Ketlin Souza absolutely teed off on her. Ketlin Souza did start to tire out, but at the end of the day, she was doing so much more damage, was not missing punches, absolutely piecing up Marnik Mann, and yeah, Marnik Mann really does stink. Great performance from Ketlin Souza. Really, really good work. Dontel Mays versus Caio Machado. This fight was really, really close. Dontel Mays, I do think won. I think at the end of the day, I do think he won rounds 1 and 3 specifically. Definitely round 1, he got the knockdown. 2 and 3, some people would argue both went to Machado. I say Dontel Mays, but I picked Dontel Mays. The judges agreed with me, but I get it. The judges aren't always right. Just a pretty low-level heavyweight scrap, honestly. Like, there is some power in Dontel Mays' hands, but Caio Machado, there's some potential there. Like, there is some potential with his boxing, but at the end of the day, he's a fat middleweight. Like, cut the weight, go to middleweight, and I think he'd have more success there. He's just in there with more powerful dudes, and if he doesn't get knocked down in the first round, he wins the first round and wins the fight, but he's given up a lot of weight to fight these guys just because he's not in shape. Get in shape, dude. Like, that really is what it comes down to. Dontel Mays got the win. It's the underdog pick. I picked that one right. But let's go to one that I picked wrong. This fight was also super close. I kind of thought Figlak won. I'm not upset with the officials giving it to Austin Hubbard. Like, Austin Hubbard just had a better performance than I thought he was going to have. Was able to walk through some of those strikes from Michael Figlak and then land some of his own. Overall, did a really good job with the body work. I was very, very impressed by that. And he threw a lot of volume. Overall, decent fight. Michael Figlak lost. I feel like he's levels above Austin Hubbard, and he's got to show it. Like, you can't go to these close decisions, especially when you should be outskilling this guy. Man, I really thought Mikhail Figlak would be a little bit better than he was, but at the end of the day, decent performance from Austin Hubbard. Good win. I got this one wrong. Was a very, very close fight, though. We're going to go to some of the better fights on the card. Good performance by Austin Hubbard. That's what I'm going to say. Went exactly how I thought, except I feel like Victor Henry would get it done in the first round. Ronnie Yaya has no chance unless the fight's on the ground. His striking's brutal. Victor Henry beat the living daylights out of Ronnie Yaya for 3 rounds. Like, he got the KO in round 3, but he was beating him up the whole fight. Overall, good performance from Victor Henry. Great job staying on his feet after Ronnie Yaya tried to shoot, as you can see here, 10 takedowns and failed them all. Victor Henry was better in the clinch there. If it got to the ground, I guess we would have found out, but it didn't really. And great striking from Victor Henry. Again, he fought a low-level opponent. I'd like to see him go up and fight better competition, but at the end of the day, he did what he had to do, and he beat the living daylights out of Ronnie Yaya. Pretty decent performance there. Went pretty much exactly how I thought. Uros Medic is a problem. If he can defend a lot of good takedowns, he's a problem. His striking's really good. He's accurate. He's powerful. It's really, really slick and smooth. He can use his kicks well. Tim Means is a tough out. Like, he's a tough guy to knock out. I know he's old, but he's very durable and he's scrappy. And Uros Medic just timed a beautiful uppercut. Back arm uppercut. So he is a southpaw. He timed the low one, or the back one, just goes right under, like an attempted clinch, it looked like, and just sat Tim Means down. Great knockout, great performance from Uros Medic, and he showed that he did a really good job defending takedowns. He was in there in the clinch. He was doing a good job hand fighting, making sure that he was always moving. Would have been interested to see what happened if it got to later rounds, but Uros Medic made sure it didn't go there. Got a great knockout there. Good performance. Went pretty much exactly how I thought. I thought it would go a little bit longer than it did, but man, good job from Uros Medic. This fight was a sneaky banger. This is like when you ask your parents for a toy and they say, we have it at home. This was Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway, but we have it at home, especially with them just kind of slinging leather. No one really pointed to the ground, but they were just kind of swinging leather in the last couple moments of the fight. I do think David Onama won the fight, but really good performance from Jonathan Pierce, I think, as well. He just wasn't able to get the takedowns, and David Onama's takedown defense was pretty solid. He just had the more power. He was landing the better, more powerful strikes. Overall, 2 decent prospects here at featherweight. One had to win, one had to lose. It was a very, very close fight. Good performance from David Onama. I did think if it saw the later rounds that Jonathan Pierce was going to drown David Onama, but it really didn't work that way. He was shooting the takedowns. He had good control time against the fence, and he even got 5 out of 14. But I would call that success from David Onama, just knowing how good Jonathan Pierce is at getting those takedowns, how good his timing is. Really, really good fight. Really fun fight. I love the way they're swinging leather at the end of it. So, David Onama at the end of the day missed weight, but he had a good performance. We got to start penalizing these guys when they don't make weight, though. Again, Onama was an underdog. I picked him and I hit it. I'm happy about that, but I don't like when people miss weight and there's no repercussions for it. I get it. He lost some of his purse, but like, some of these dudes just don't care. Like, they'll just go in and have a better advantage. So we'll see what the UFC ends up doing by this. Good performance from David Onama. Valiant effort from Jonathan Pierce, I'll say. Interested to see what happens for these two next. Austin Lane, Genado Diaz. Genado Diaz he's kind of a problem. He's a really, really good striker, and he survived the ground attack of Austin Lane. Austin Lane did a great job shooting a takedown. I thought that he would be able to have some success getting a takedown, but at the end of the day, when he gets tired, he stands on his feet. He started getting hit, and I just don't think he's built to take MMA damage. It's great for football. He wasn't great at football, but he's good at, pushing through the game of football. But at the end of the day, man, MMA is much different. You're getting beat up constantly, and not like football players aren't, but it's a different level. You're not getting pounded on the chin by top-level kickboxers in the NFL. You do in the MMA or do in the UFC. Really good performance from Janata Diaz. We might have a problem here. We might have a problem at heavyweight, but at the end of the day, if he faces a good wrestler, there is potential. I just think that Austin Lane is a strong, powerful dude. I just, like I said, I just don't think he's built to take damage. I don't want to say he crumbles, but like he took a lot of damage, but he's just not, again, he's a tough guy, but he's not as tough as some of these true MMA guys. The crossover from football, it's a different game. Completely different game. Good performance from Diaz. I really want to see him against strikers because I really like watching him fight. He's just an animal. Like, he just goes in there to swing. Karine Silva beat Ariane De Silva, which I thought was Lipsky, and it is. She probably just got married randomly. Yeah, she won this fight by getting her takedown. She didn't get the submission, so I was right about that. I thought Lipsky was going to be difficult to submit, but Karine Silva very clearly won the fight. There is a round that you can argue that went to Ariane Lipsky, but at the end of the day, I kind of had it 30-27 Karine Silva. Good performance. Like, really, really good performance. Showed that she belongs. Again, didn't get the finish, but this was a tough out for her. A really tough matchup against a seasoned veteran of the UFC. Karine Silva's kind of a problem for this division, so good work. Didn't get the submission. Kind of went similarly to how I thought. Ariane Lipsky didn't get finished, but Karine Silva, really good performance. Anthony Smith on paper, a.k.a. Bogdan Guskov versus Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann lands really good 1-2s. He lands really good 1-2s, and he shot a good takedown and got the takedown. Had control time, was dominating on the ground. But he tired out. And he has no IQ. He decides not to shoot again in the second round when he had a ton of success within the first and got knocked out. It's really simple that I don't think Bogdan Guskov is that good. I just think Ryan Spann is dumb enough to stay up on the feet with the only thing that Bogdan Guskov has, which is powerful striking. Eventually, with his hands being that low, he's going to get chinned. I thought it would be Ryan Spann throwing the 1-2. He threw great 1-2s and was literally turning Bogdan Guskov's chin around. But Guskov had the chin to stay in there and weather it. Good performance from Guskov. Got the knockout. Kind of a nasty knockout. This main card really was fun. A lot of good finishes on the card. But yeah, Ryan Spann just has the IQ of a 12-year-old. So it is what it is. Good 1-2s, but the dude decided not to shoot a takedown. He paid for it. It is what it is. Good performance from Bogdan Guskov. I did get this one wrong, but underdog pick in the main event. Got it right. Mateusz Nicolau fighting that boring fight dude against a dude that can hit pretty hard for the division, that is going to walk you down the whole time. It's not a good style matchup, and that's exactly what I said going into this fight. Now, I thought it would be a decision because I thought Mateusz Nicolau would dance around and not get hit as much. But Alex Perez put it on him, landed a sick punch, and then Mateusz Nicolau folds and goes down on the cage the same way that Volk did when he fought Topuria. Really good performance from Alex Perez. Was super excited to see it. Can't wait to see what next for him. I'd say Manel Kape versus Alex Perez is the fight that I want to make. I don't know that I'm going to do a matchmaker for this card. I just don't think that there's enough people that I'm overly eager to watch fight next, and I don't mean to say that in a bad way. It's just that I don't think that there's too many ranked matchups coming up. At the end of the day, really good performance from Alex Perez. Was super excited to see it. Dude, this card delivered. Like, this card delivered, especially right after 300, where you're like, whatever comes after 300 is going to suck. This card delivered. A lot of good finishes. A lot of people that are going to start working their way up the rankings and names to watch out for. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe. I apologize for how my voice sounds. I just can't help but start singing the white girl music when it comes on in the club. Thank you again. Again, please like and subscribe. Appreciate you watching.